Welcome to Impact Signals, Social Impact at the Scale of AI. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Sarah.
It's Thursday, July 9, 2026, episode 68. Today, Agentic AI moves from pilot to production in humanitarian operations. Mercy Corps and Cloudera ship VERA with published per report savings. Google puts its flood forecast in front of 2 billion people. And India switches on a landslide warning system for the entire Himalayan region with alerts over WhatsApp. We start with Mercy Corps, which just shipped VERA, the Verified Evidence and Research Assistant, an agentic AI analyst for humanitarian crises built with Cloudera and powered by Anthropic's Claude models. It produces localized, crisis-specific analysis for field teams.
What makes this significant is the disclosure. Humanitarian AI announcements almost never publish production metrics, and this one leads with them. Per report time and cost savings measured on live crisis analysis.
The numbers are specific. Cloudera reports up to 90% time savings on election security reports in Colombia, roughly $2,000 US saved per report, and Sudan food security analysis cut from 5 or 6 days to 2 or 3, about $1,500 US saved each time. VERA is also in active use for disease outbreak monitoring across Central and East Africa.
The model is the easy part. The hard part is the evidence base underneath it. VERA is an agentic research assistant over curated, verifiable sources, and that curation is nearly 2.5 years of work, going back to the method's Matcher tool in late 2024.
And it lands on real operating scale. Mercy Corps runs programs in 46 countries with nearly 4,300 team members and reached 36.5 million people in 2025.
For practitioners, the action is direct. If you run an analytics or monitoring and evaluation team at a nonprofit, cost per report and days per report are numbers you can measure in your own shop and benchmark against these. The architecture, an agentic assistant over a curated evidence base, is a replicable pattern.
Second signal, Google. Time to the AI for Good Summit in Geneva, Google published a consolidated account of how governments and agencies use its crisis AI. The headline number, AI river flood forecasting now reaches 2 billion people across more than 150 countries, with lead times up to 7 days.
The new part for this audience is what got opened up. Google open-sourced its ground source flash flood dataset and a hydrology modeling framework, a free starting point for national weather services and research teams building local models instead of starting from zero.
The stack is wider than floods. Wildfire boundary tracking runs in 34 countries. Public alerts covers more than 90. And the damage assessment workflow built with OCHA, the UN's Humanitarian Coordination Office, and ONASET, the UN's Satellite Center, has now deployed 11 times, including 385,000 buildings assessed after Hurricane Melissa.
The practical takeaway is to check coverage before you build. If you work in one of those 150 countries, Flood Hub likely already covers your operating area. Wire it into your warning chain and field test it this season, rather than commissioning a model of your own.
Moving to South Asia, where the monsoon is stress testing AI early warning on 3 fronts at once. In India, IIT Mandi, the Indian Institute of Technology in Mandi, switched on a landslide early warning system covering the entire Indian Himalayan region, trained on roughly 26,000 historical landslides, with location-specific forecasts and WhatsApp alerts.
The delivery channel is the actionable detail. District disaster authorities, mountain relief organizations, and trekking operators in Himachal, Uttarakhand, and the Northeast can subscribe to point forecasts now, at zero cost, and wire the bulletins into warning chains they already run. It lands mid-monsoon, exactly the weeks Himalayan states see their deadliest slope failures.
The lead time case is Maharashtra. An AI-assisted forecasting system, reported as Bharat FS, predicted cloudburst-like rainfall over Nashik nearly 24 hours in advance. With up to 300 millimeters forecast, the chief minister issued a public cloudburst warning for July 7, and authorities moved emergency measures into place before the rain arrived.
A verified 24-hour lead on hyperlocal extreme rain is the difference between evacuation and rescue. The warning is only as useful as the behavior it changes. The lead time converts only where trigger thresholds are pre-agreed, which forecast activates which action on the ground.
And in Pakistan, the National Emergency Operations Center in Islamabad is running satellite imagery and AI projections on an erratic monsoon that has already killed 17 people since June 26. Relief drones are folded into the National Response Plan, flying surveillance and dropping supplies to families cut off if disaster strikes.
Pakistan is the bellwether. This is the country where the 2022 floods affected 33 million people. For humanitarian field teams in country, the move is to sync early warning thresholds and drone corridor plans with the National Center now, before peak monsoon.
One more from Geneva. The International Rescue Committee, the IRC, used the AI for Good stage to challenge tech companies and philanthropies to fund AI tools for the world's nearly 118 million forcibly displaced people, for healthcare, education, and trusted information.
That challenge comes with receipts. Signpost, co-founded with Mercy Corps, has delivered verified, localized information to more than 20 million people in 30 countries since 2015, with purpose-built AI agents deployed in Bangladesh and Nigeria. For refugee-serving organizations, the openly documented Signpost playbook is the reference architecture to copy or join, and the IRC's framing, client-facing information access rather than back office, is the case to put in front of funders.
On the disaster watch, Super Typhoon Bavi holds a red alert from GDAX, the Global Disaster Alert and Coordination System, with maximum winds of 287 kilometers per hour in the Northwest Pacific and an estimated 38 million people exposed to Category 1 strength winds or higher. Associated storms in China have killed at least 15 people, with national rescue mobilization ordered. GDAX also holds orange alerts on southern China's floods, 12 deaths and more than 85,000 displaced, forest fires in France and Portugal, and the drought in Madagascar's Grand Sud.
The China floods are today's live test. That response is absorbing Bavi's rainfall on top of a month of flooding, the same warning to action gap as Nashik at far larger scale. Forecast coverage exists, and what happens next depends on whether evacuation triggers were agreed before the rain stacked up.
On the calendar, the AI for Good Global Summit is happening now, July 7 through 10 at Palexpo in Geneva, with more than 300 sessions and online passes available through the summit site. Organizers also announced a successor, the World Summit on AI, set for Geneva in June 2027.
3 of today's stories, Mercy Corps, Google, and the IRC, were timed to this summit, so it is the densest source of follow-up material this week. If you cannot be in Geneva, the online pass is the way in before it wraps on Friday.
Funding watch, 2 deadlines. The Claude Core Fellowship, run by Anthropic with CodePath and Social Finance, pays $85,000 US plus benefits for a 1-year full-time nonprofit placement. Applications for the first cohort of 100 close July 17, 8 days from now. And the British Council's Cultural Protection Fund is open with grants up to £500,000 for organizations protecting cultural heritage at risk in 17 countries. Expressions of interest are due July 20.
Read the eligibility lines before you draft. Claude Core requires U.S. work authorization and under 2 years of full-time work experience, an early career pipeline, with rolling cohorts in January and August 2027 if next week is too tight. For the Cultural Protection Fund, July 20 is only the expression of interest. Full applications run to August 28, and the 17-country list is where your fit check starts.
The through line today. Humanitarian AI is publishing production numbers, per report savings, coverage counts, lead times, the same week the sector's biggest summit convenes in Geneva.
So hold your own systems and your vendors to that standard. Ask for the per report deltas, the coverage counts, and the lead times, and make published benchmarks part of your procurement policy. A system that cannot report its numbers is not ready to carry field operations.
That's Impact Signals for Thursday, July 9, 2026. If this briefing is useful, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out at impactsignals.ai and share it with someone working in the field.
Stay ready.